Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. We're back again, Sandy and Susan, with the monthly forecast. So while we wait for a few more people to get in here, tell us where you're from, where you're coming in from. We're going to wait for more people.
We're in Chicago where it's chilly, although better than yesterday.
I mean, you know, if it's cold. It's cold. We tried to cook out.
Andy?
It's bad. I was out in the sun this morning, but that's it. Mm-hmm. Where are you from? Let's put some people in the chat. In fact, maybe I need to get my chat box opened.
There you go.
Yeah. And we are recording this. We are recording this. So if we begin and you haven't gotten on, you'll be able to go back and watch this. This is the June 2021 forecast with Sandy Rueve and Susan Gidel. Jane's here. Hello from North Carolina. Hi, Jane. I'll see you a little bit later this afternoon as well. Sylvia's here. Thank you. Good morning. First of all, the cheat sheets have a new look. I think it was interesting that we put this out right around this Mercury conjunct Venus period that we're having actually today. And actually, it's one of my favorites. I didn't put it as my favorite, but we'll get more into that. Corey's here from Oregon. How are you, Corey? I'll see you this afternoon. So let's just begin because we're going to start with today, even though this is not June. But let's do a few things at the top here. Judy, good Judy, still from Texas. Melissa's here. Hi,
Melissa.
Let's just talk a few things as people arrive. Susan and I are doing a solar eclipse webinar. This is our next one. It is in about 2 weeks or less than, and it is June 9 at 5:30 Chicago time. It's the hour plus hour-ish webinar that we do every other month for this year. And we're going to be talking heavily around the solar eclipse. So, and how yummy it is and how we all really need to take a bite of it and heed its energy. It's really nice, really nice. Molly's here from Colorado. Welcome. So sign up for that. I think that's already up for sign up if you want that extra personal, where I give you your chart, show you where it is in your chart. Go ahead and sign up for that. Oh, and we've got Gluten Tag, which means, I guess, good afternoon from Germany. Yes. Hi. Okay. What else do we have? Oh, I want to talk quick about, still have one more space, one more ability to sign up for that the Jupiter in Pisces talisman ceremony that I'm having on June 20th. Alex will put the links in the comments. We had one, I had 2 dates picked where I'm making a bead. It's a good 2.5 hour event that we had one on Thursday night, and we're going to have one on June 20th. So 2 options. And this is really leaning in toward the European, because it's at 5:25 a.m. Chicago time. So it's really early. So I know that you that have signed up for on the West Coast, that's a kick-ass early wake-up time. But you don't have to be there, but it's best if you are.
But for Europe, it would be easy.
Yeah, and I set this up for that area specifically. Yeah. And it was just a good chart. All right, let's dive.
We'll start with the Venus Mercury, Sandy.
Yeah. So today Mercury is stationing. He's been in an area of the sky at 24 degrees of Gemini. He will be here for 9 days. Now, folks, that's a long time for this Mercury in Gemini. He's in his own sign, and maybe that's why he's taking so long to turn and pivot, because 9 days, typically it's about 4 to 7 days that he'll take to slowly move to retrograde, because he's on his path for retrogression starting this afternoon. But he meets up with Venus, and Venus and Mercury, they're friends, they like each other. So today is a day of, really nice friendly communication, support, helping one another, having some fun, sharing information in Gemini. So interesting. That's what we're doing.
Exactly. And then at 5:34 tonight, this afternoon, Chicago time, Mercury turns retrograde officially. So you've got all day today to like do that final backup on your computer.
Yeah.
Get all your technology thing ducks in a row before Mercury turns retrograde for 3 weeks. And comes out when? June 22.
And actually, to the regular 21, 22 days of a retrograde, Mercury's retrograde period, he's going to be 25 days retrograde. And I really think it's because he's in his own domicile or his own rulership in Gemini. He just is very comfortable. He's got all of his resources. He does have his ducks in a row here, and he just wants to stay put for a while. So I think that might be part of the, this is the planet. Mercury is the planet of communication, and he's the one that's the swift mover, right? He wears wings on his helmet and wings on his sandals. He's the quick mover, and here he's like, I'm sticking around for a while. I'm going to go slow these days. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So let's keep moving, because even if Mercury's not, then on Monday, the 31st, which is our Memorial Day here, we're having the Mars making a really nice sextile trine to Neptune. So these are both in water signs. And so this is about gut instincts. It really is about using your feelings, your third eye, intuition. It is about absorbing what it is you feel before you know your direction.
But trusting that you can take action on that because it's Mars.
Right. Now let's get into June. Let's do a little intro of June first. We have a couple of planets retrograde, more than a couple. Actually, we've got Saturn retrograde, Pluto retrograde, Jupiter goes retrograde on the 20th of this month, which is sad for me. Neptune goes retrograde on the 25th this month, and Mercury will already be retrograde as we enter June. So there are 4 ingresses during this period, which, they're typically for sure are probably 2 or 3 in a period, but we're having 4 this month. All right. And we start off with an ingress.
Yeah.
You want to take it?
Venus moves into Cancer on Wednesday, June 2nd. And Venus, for me, is all about money, of course.
Yeah.
And in Cancer, from a money perspective, likes to give it away, likes to use money to take care of people. It does things with good, for good, when Venus is in Cancer. In my little cheat sheet notes, though, from a more tangible perspective, I'm like, well, gather up your comfort foods and enjoy them with Venus in Cancer. Anything that makes you feel yummy and comforted.
All right. That could be a little overindulgence.
Yeah.
But I know I flipped forward on your cheat sheet and you've given a stop time. So yeah, good. Okay. And I look at Venus as a relationship planet. And so this to me is forming bonds. It's a triplicity dignity. Has a decan dignity here. So she's in harmony with her tribe. She's in harmony with her group. So this is a strong emotional connections. You could be very, very sensitive here. She stays here for 4 weeks until June 28th. But she has dignity here. So she likes being, it's another feminine sign, right? It's ruled by the moon. So I can totally see where you go, get under your blanket, which we might have to today, and get out the salty chips. Although Venus is about sweet, so maybe you can put the the salt and salty chocolates.
Would be salted caramels for you, Sandy.
Okay. I do like those.
Yeah.
On Thursday, the 3rd, we move into, this is my favorite day. This is the sun for 2 reasons. There's 2 aspects going on this day. I like them both. And the sun is making a trine to Saturn, and Saturn's retrograde here. So Saturn is in his vacation period where he's not giving too much limitations, but yet he can create self-control. But self-control that's a little easier to have. So you can even accomplish hard things during this time. So all the things that you want to do, if you can focus on some of them, Saturn will help you get there over a long period of time.
And for me, that transit, from a more mundane perspective, the sun represents leaders and Saturn is about planning. And so my note about that transit on June 3rd is, if you're the one who's in charge, make sure you do the right thing, because Saturn absolutely wants you to do the right thing, no matter if it's retrograde or not. Now it may be the opportunity to review the good plan that you have developed, but still make sure that it's all on the up and up. That's what Saturn wants.
And then a little bit later at 6:33 p.m. that day, of course, these are all Chicago times, so make your adjustments. And although you'll feel it all day, is the Venus trining Jupiter. Now, this is my favorite aspect of the month. So I call this go big and go home, or bring home with you. Are we traveling yet? Making vacation plans? Like, just start imagining what you could enjoy doing. It's good for financial investments. I'm sure we'll hear that from you, but it's about, this positive feeling of we can come out of this. Jupiter is not retrograde. He's in his own sign. And there's this mutual reception here with these two, because, Venus is in Cancer, where Jupiter is exalted, and Venus is exalted in the sign that Jupiter is in Pisces. So there's a really nice play, really nice play here. In fact, I'll be making talismans on that day.
Mm-hmm. And this is one of the signatures that you look for being able to make a lot of money. And so potentially a big up day in the stock market on June 3rd.
Yeah. So let's move to Saturday the 5th. We have Mercury retrograde in Gemini, making a square to Neptune in Pisces. This is at 2:00. Get the facts. Now, this is the second pass of the square to Neptune. Let's just talk about Mercury, the planet of communication and making decisions and sharing information, is squaring conflict with Neptune, the nebulous planet of, I can't see through the fog. I don't know really what's clear or what's true. So it's making a square. So just don't believe what you hear or what you are told. Investigate if you care at all. Otherwise, it's not important. Otherwise, drop it. You can't hold on to wrong information. The first time this hit was a square. The first square that we got was May 22, not too long ago. So you might be able to go back into your calendar, look in to see did something come in 2 weeks ago? And the last pass is July 6th. So this is 1 month. So in between this time, which is May 22, July 6th, gather the information, just gather. And then you get to decide after that point.
Yeah, and I would only emphasize that it's a time to review, like Mercury retrograde wants us to do. And agree with you, go back to your calendar. What happened a week ago today-ish? A couple days either side. Maybe with Mercury as slow as it is, it could be longer than that. But, something in the last week or so from when we're talking today on May 29th, could be the thing that you don't have enough information yet, or the information that you do, you think is, there's something not quite right about this. Well, go with that gut instinct during this period, because Mercury wants you to take another look at that and not believe what you might have thought you heard the first time around.
True, true. Well, happy birthday, Karen, with your birthday being on my favorite day.
Yeah.
You are my favorite person on this day. Happy birthday. But later that day on Saturday the 5th, we have Mars making this opposition to Pluto. All right, this happens once every 2 years. Now, get yourself under control. Resistance and fierce opposition, if you're not careful, versus continuing to do almost solo work to continue to strive ahead. Mars is really weak here in Cancer because he's in his fall. In other words, fall. He tries to do something and he trips and falls. So that is no battle for the opposing Pluto. Pluto wins.
Pluto definitely wins. And so, the keywords associated with Pluto: transform, and Mars, taking action. So you can take action to be transforming today, but it might not be as productive as you might like. And because it isn't, just beware that you don't get mad at yourself or others. Mars opposite Pluto can be nasty. Particularly with Mars in its fall, where it just is like, I just don't know what to do.
Right, because it's Mars. Mars wants to push. Mars thinks he has all of the gumption and his tools.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
Really.
No. He gets to the battlefield because he's like, yeah, come on. And he reaches for a sword and it's empty. He has no help.
Yeah.
So big pay attention day. Watch the news this day. I hope there isn't, I hope we may hear some, nasty news, but let's hope not. Mm-hmm. And then boom, we go right into Thursday, the 10th, which is two things going on this day. Really, really big. We're going to share this screen here in a minute and show you the solar eclipse. This is a new moon. Solar eclipse means solar, sun is eclipsed, means goes away because of the moon is crossing in front of the sun. Now, this is an annular, which means the moon, because the moon is perigee, it's really close to the Earth right now, which is why we're calling, our last lunar was a super moon. Means it was like, right in our faces. Too cloudy here to see any of that. Bummer. I would love to see it. And that the moon is so close to us and the sun's so far away that this little disk onto the sun creates this annular, which is this ring of fire. So you'll be seeing the light coming around, the disk that can't close it all the way.
Well, you'll see it if you're in northern Canada.
Yeah, northeastern United States. So, up there, my son in Maine will be able to see it. And he gets up early. And this is at 5:53 a.m. Chicago time. So it's Canada, Russia, Greenland. This in Chicago, we'll be able to see it at 4:43 a.m. at about 82%. So when the sun rises, because the sunrise here, and check it in your area, is at 5:16, and the moon here is doing is kind of going. So as the sun rises, the moon will go down. Well, no, it'll be together. They'll be together. What am I thinking? I'm thinking of the full moon. This is a new moon. So this lasts for 3 minutes and 51 seconds. So this is about a 4-month period on Earth. And it's the first bite. Do you know about the first bite of the apple? Have you ever heard that, Susan? Where when the moon's crossing and from the sun, it looks like it's just taken a bite out of the apple.
Oh yeah.
where it's just like a little curve coming out, that begins, that's a 43-minute from the first bite to the last bite. The whole completion is 43 minutes.
And we'll go into more of this and like pictures and all this kind of stuff the night before. June 9 is our webinar about this solar eclipse in particular.
Well, that's probably what I'm reading is all my notes. I've got lots of notes about Bernadette Brady's book. And we have to pay attention to, because this is at 19 degrees of Gemini. And what's the ruler of Gemini? Mercury. What's Mercury doing? He is literally in a Cazimi that day at 8:13 p.m. So clarity, purification. This is a big one. Sign up for that. Really, it's $30 or $25 actually. Throw the chart up, Alex. Let's go look real quick.
And the meaning of this solar eclipse, based on our favorite, eclipse interpreter Bernadette Brady's book, is that it is prophetic and creative, and is okay to act on ideas and hunches, which comes in perfectly with the Mercury Cazimi, which says basically the same thing, that you get these aha ideas, moments that just drop in from nowhere, and trust that because that you could trust them anyway during any Mercury Cazimi period, but on the same day as the eclipse that says the same thing, then you really go for it. So, put a big star on June 10 and say to yourself, okay, I am open to new ideas and let me have them. And I know that they'll be good.
So here's the chart. So this is at 5:53 a.m. here in Evanston. And we see the moon just crossing the sun just as it's coming up over the horizon. So if we had gotten up, I ask you to check your timing in your area to get up to watch as the sun's coming up. This is when it's happening. We see the ascendant right there. So it's quite interesting thing to watch. Now, when we talked about the areas of the world where you'll be able to see, like here in Chicago, 82%. Hey, that's worth getting up and seeing. So check out your area and get up. We have there's only 2 eclipses here, a lunar and a solar. We had the lunar, a couple days ago.
Yeah.
And then we don't get in, and then we have this one coming up on June 10th. And then we don't have another eclipse. Sometimes they come in 3s. This one's at 2s, always 2s. And then we go November and December for the next grouping. And those are nice as well. Mm-hmm. So really nice aspects and nice themes of these eclipses. All right, Alex, we're ready to go on to, you can get off of this.
See, and I'm really interested in this eclipse, Sandy, because it's conjunct my ascendant descendant line.
So what do you have to let go and what do you have to bring in? To understanding, because we got it trine to Saturn, we have it square Neptune, we have it conjunct the ruler. There's a lot to say in this time. So let's move on. Just sign up for $25 event. Now we go right to the next day, Friday the 11th, and we have Mars moving into the sign of Leo. So Mars moves out of his area of fall, Cancer, moves into Leo, where, this is where I call he has no dignity here, but he doesn't have any debility. So he feels a little bit more healed, or can lay off to the side without, so I wrote no diggity, no doubt. I literally Googled and listened to that song. Which is why I wrote get down, play around, east side to the west side, like the way you work it, because it's about fun, right? Do some dancing, put your energy into to do some dancing. So this is a more positive Mars.
Oh, for sure. And just to get rid of the sign that is in its fall, just that alone will increase Mars's energy, let alone moving into Leo, which lets it go, aha, I am the cowardly lion come out to defend everybody and everything. I can do it.
That's a good, because it is about, courage and pride and, strength and fun, right?
And fun.
Leo,
yeah.
Leo is fun.
Yeah.
So, and Mars hasn't been in Leo. It doesn't rule it, but hasn't been here for 2 years. So do we miss a little fun? Okay. Make some plans for June. All right. Sunday, the 13th. Now we have the Venus making a sextile to Uranus. Color your hair, express yourself and your beauty through artful designs.
This is when I could do the purple highlights thing again.
Yes. Or do what I just did. I made a mention to Alex that I wanted these extensions for my hair, and I just got them in the mail. I just opened them yesterday. So I'm going to wait for that day. And there's these little clips that somebody that I know makes. It's called Havelair or something. And you clip them in your hair with these like changeable like feathers or coins or shells. So
there you go. That'd be fun.
I don't know about coloring my hair.
Yeah.
Who's interested in coloring their hair? Yeah, let's hear about it. Yeah, you. Yeah. I was with you when you did it last time.
You were.
Yeah.
No. So Venus sextile Uranus for me is be on the lookout for surprise money. And surprise money could be good, more, it could be bad, less. It's just a surprise.
Right. And then later that day at 6:40 p.m., we have the sun making a square to Neptune and pure intent. This is, you have zero to little to none mojo. This is really just relax in the sun, but use sunscreen. Rest, relax. I don't know. Rest.
And Sun, once again, and from a mundane perspective, Sun square Neptune, leaders are confused. And actually, it ties into Monday, the 14th for me. I was just working on my market outlook letter yesterday. And I think and the 14th is going to be what I call my top red letter trading day, because it is the second exact square between Saturn and Uranus. And could be the time for a review of the stock market gains we've had since February, when they made their first square. But these two combined, Sun square Neptune, three combined, surprise money on a Sunday, confusion among leaders on a Sunday, Saturn Uranus square on a Monday. I'm a little leery about this weekend, about what the news might be that could manifest as bearish from into Sunday night's trade into Monday with Saturn square Uranus exact. And typically, Mondays aren't, it's not a big day normally for the markets, but with these odd things going on, the day prior, I remember in the 2008 crisis, you really had to pay attention on Sunday afternoon because they'd make these announcements before the markets opened in Asia on Sunday afternoon for the week. And I don't know, this just kind of feels like maybe something similar. Pay attention that weekend if you're involved.
Mm-hmm. Really, because this is my conflict day of the month. And we introduced the whole year at the beginning of the year with one aspect that is going to be the 3 passes, but it's going to stay in from, I think it was February 17th all the way till Christmas Eve this year. Mm-hmm. It is the one aspect, and this is the second pass that Susan just mentioned, the Saturn squaring Uranus. So, are you aware, right? The Saturn now is retrograde. So Saturn doesn't have, even though he's in his own sign of Aquarius, he doesn't have the the wherewithal to move against a very strong Uranus, because Uranus is direct. So, are you making corrections? This is the second pass of the surprised shift. Are you surprised or are you shocked? One of the two will occur. Yeah. But like I said, this time Saturn doesn't have the strength, so it's not holding steady. The first pass I mentioned was February 17th when they were both direct. The next and last pass is not till that December 24th, when Uranus now is retrograde and Saturn is direct. Saturn now has the final say. So it'll be whatever needs to change here, because Saturn wants steady as she goes, status quo. Uranus wants change, liberation, wanting rules changed. And Uranus is trying to change them so hard right now. And Saturn doesn't have the power to withstand Uranus right now. But at the end of the year, Saturn wins.
Yeah. Saturn and just as a reminder, this Saturn-Uranus cycle is 45 years. So, and this is the final square of the cycle. It started in 1988. So they're on their downhill slide into their next conjunction in 2032. So from a big picture perspective, this Saturn-Uranus square is a really big deal on an overarching energy influencer sort of way. We're looking, at the minutia of it on a day-to-day basis here, but in the big scheme of things, this is a big deal. And in previous cycles, it's been generally bearish for the markets. That has not happened so far. We'll see.
Right. So you want to mention just Friday the 18th that Venus returns from her out of bounds. She has to play now inside the sandbox.
And when you have to pack up your comfort food.
Yeah, done, finished. You're now
out of bounds, out of control with Venus. No, it's over.
Yeah, throw it away, actually. Just put it in the garbage, because I don't think you can lock your cabinet unless you have a lockable cabinet. I should have one of those.
But you know where the key is.
Yeah, well, I'll have somebody do it for me. Okay. On Sunday, the 20th, this is the day of the talisman ceremony that I'm running early in the morning. It's also Father's Day, but we have Jupiter is making his retrograde movement, going retrograde. So hold on to what you see. Jupiter's here at 2 degrees of Pisces. Jupiter hasn't been in Pisces in 11 plus years. It's a 12-year cycle, but he only did a little toe dip just to check the waters, to make sure that he has what he needs, because he's going to go backwards into Aquarius in his retrograde period. That's not till the end of July, but this is the time when he's starting his move to go back. And he's only past 2 degrees of Pisces. And that's where it gives us that whole, that idea of what is possible in 2022 when Jupiter comes back to Pisces at the end of the year. And I mean, it's like the 30th of December.
Yeah.
So it's like, here's what's possible. Set your intention, get your vision on something for the end of the year and all of 2022 and beyond, but set up for it now, which is why I'm holding those talisman ceremonies with Jupiter and Pisces now. Let's start that action and to be looking forward to something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I just ditto, maintain your vision, and know that when Jupiter is retrograde, that too can be kind of a downer for the stock market. Excuse me.
Yeah.
The same day, the sun moves into Cancer, which means it's the summer solstice at 10:32 p.m. in Chicago. And honestly, it's nice that there's so much sunlight, but the Capricorn in me just says, we're on our downhill slide into winter.
What a bummer. Yeah.
I know. That's why I'm really happy at the winter solstice. I'm like, yay, we're on our way to summer.
Well, let's live in the present moment. Okay. So when we get to summer solstice, the sun stands still. That's what that means. So why don't you, in your backyard with your peony plants and all your gardening, stand still in it? Let's everybody just go out into their yard and stand still and just breathe the warmth. The sun moves from a very mutable air sign, Gemini, into the cardinal water. So the versatile ideas that you've had currently right now is starting things with emotions. Where are you connected to your family, to who you are? What's that emotional? Make yourself, emotionally happy, satisfied, right?
Yeah.
Go out into the sun.
No, I do like the summer solstice, but in the back of my mind, I'm thinking,
Capricorn self, my Pisces self, live in the moment, swim through. All right.
The next day, Monday, June 21st, is my favorite day of the month. And it's because it's the summer solstice. And two, it's because that day Venus is exactly trine Neptune, both in water signs, which means that from my perspective, money is flowing easily. It's kind of a fun time. Now, once again, it can be money dissolves easily. But anyway, there's a good flow to it. But really it's the summer solstice that makes it my favorite day, from a market perspective in particular, because it means that it is one of the 10 days that the legendary trader W.D. Gann always looked at for a potential change of trend. And I used to get really, when I was first learning about Gann, I'm like, well, what do you mean change of trend? Can't you tell me up or down? And the more I study it, the more I realize, no, you can't. It's just a change. It means that the energy shifts in some way. Now, I have done some work, not in a couple of years ago, soybeans like change trend at every new moon, full moon. It was pretty amazing. And so anyway, change of trend, which makes it my favorite day, Monday, June 21.
Actually, this is, for me, Venus is relationship. And so this today, and a trine to the Neptune, get together with other creatives, simply lay around, sit around and wish on a star. So, that night before when you're outside basking in the sun, well, just stay there the night. Maybe this is a good night to camp out. I've been planning that on my rooftop deck, and I have a plan for that coming up. But be in wonderment of all possibilities and literally wish upon a star.
Cool.
I really like this day, but it wasn't my favorite. But I'm glad it's yours.
So it's my favorite day.
Yeah.
The next day, yay, Mercury turns direct at 5 o'clock our time. Exact.
Yeah, exact.
Cool. 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So really you've got all day to get through, but then you can do that little dance and go, yay, Mercury's direct.
And here's my vision of it, right? Are you all set? Are you ready? Are your plans ready to begin to move forward? Strap in and get ready to take off. So you can be strapped in going, yay, this will be fun, right? But you have to have your ducks in order. You have to have your plan in order. Remember, today we've got the Venus to the Mercury. What is being exchanged? Are there opinions? Are there ideas? Is there communication going on today that Mercury gets to go, review, re-engage, reinvigorate, pass on the message to the sun? That's what I'll be talking about in my constellation bracelet workshop group today. There's a message being passed from Venus to Mercury and then Mercury to the sun during the Cazimi. So interesting play on timing in this period for the first couple weeks in June. All right.
So
Wednesday, the 23rd, is the sun does this twice a year. Sun makes a trine to Jupiter. And, even though Jupiter's retrograde, Jupiter is still the greater benefic. Jupiter still can bring gifts and promises and hopes and wishes. But in retrogrades, like taking a break. I always do this like vacation cigarette smoking. I don't know why I do that, but I think it's funny. I don't know. Reminds me of like Diva. And so the sun making this trine to Jupiter at 5:11 a.m. to be useful to yourself. Nice, pleasant, positive influences, easy to project enthusiasm out into the world that returns to you to help you out. So by helping others, just with your shine, your warmth, your expression, they're reflecting it like, yeah, how are you doing today? I hope you have a good day too, right? Like just this really nice energy. I like this.
Yeah. And, sun trine Jupiter is always about big growth. The sun makes Jupiter's growth stand out. And so take advantage of it. Think, okay, what could I really do? And with Jupiter retrograde, maybe it's, go back in the Wayback Machine and say, okay, what are some of the dreams that I've had in the past that I could start focusing on and bring some of that nice energy to today?
And there we go again with the Jupiter in Pisces and the hopes and possibilities of 2022.
Yeah.
Really, I'm going to open, and Alex, take this note. Let's make a really big push on the Bali retreat we think is happening in April. I see some of you on the comments I know are coming. They're already signed up. Your deposit and your full payment is in. We think it's going to be in April. So maybe that's just something that you can put on your calendar to be excited about and to, propel you forward. Now, I will say that every time the sun meets up in a trine to Jupiter, there's 2 times in a year, and both times Jupiter is retrograde. Mm-hmm. When the sun is up here, I'm just going to give this, air map that Alex makes fun of. Sun is up here. Jupiter goes retrograde when he gets in a trine. He's retrograde the entire time that the sun is in making this trine. So that's not unusual. That's always like that. So a little bit later that day, we get that opposition now.
Which is, did you see my note there, Sandy? Figure out the money for your vision.
Okay.
So if you're going to go to Bali on the same day with Venus opposite Pluto, you can figure out how to pay for it. Where those funds are going to come from.
Yeah, because I wrote, play games with a purpose, right? Intensify love and other relationships. Watch compulsive natures because it's opposing Pluto. So it's like, gimme, nails in. So don't be too possessive on someone or something unless you're going to Bali. Use to reassemble any misdoings. So this is just, they meet up in an opposition every year, and it's just for a day or two and then moves on. Yeah. So play games with intent, right?
And good. Intensity.
Good. Intensity, intent, purpose, have an outlet planned for this. Bali. All right. Thursday, the 24th. Full moon, we're out of the eclipse season. We're at a full moon at 3 degrees of Capricorn. There you go. There's Capricorn word. You've missed your Capricorn word. This is at 1:40 p.m. and it literally, keep the faith, baby. I really like this. I mean, even though the moon is in his detriment, he has no resources here, but there is a trine to the Jupiter that we had just talked about the day before.
And I did use a Capricorn word in my notes, structures exposed. So full moon, shining light on the sign that the moon is in, which is Capricorn. And what does Capricorn stand for? It stands for structures. It stands for rules, authority, organization. Once again, doing the right thing kind of deals. So those types of things will have a spotlight on them from the full moon on the 24th of June.
The 25th, Friday. Now, this is Neptune's annual retrograde period. He begins his retrograde in the afternoon. This is his annual trip. He's at 23 degrees of Pisces, and he goes only back 3 degrees, back to 20 degrees. So anyone that has a birthday around March 11th through March 14th, then I know that that's where your sun sits at the 20 to 23 degrees of Pisces. This is Neptune on here. You need to go within. Well, we all need to go within, but these people particularly who have been needing and confused about something. I don't know if anybody's here that has that, or any planet in that vicinity. Again, 20 Pisces to 23 Pisces has been experiencing this Neptune on their conjunct that planet. I just gave you that March 11th through the 14th because we know that's where the sun is. That's the only planet we know without looking at a chart.
But the same deal. I've been looking at charts for clients too that have Neptune in those near those degrees on the midheaven or on the ascendant. And they are asking about being confused about what to do, particularly in career. What am I meant to do? What should I be doing? My work is weird. What's going on? And it's like, well, Neptune's going across your midheaven. Neptune's conjunct your ascendant. Of course, you don't know what's going on. So
enjoy it. That's all you can do. You're not to make any rash decision. You can't make any rash decisions. I mean, Mars might pop in there for a minute and piss you off, and then you like quit or, make a harsh decision, a life-changing decision when Neptune's like, dude, why'd you do that? Like,
right.
You're still in play of your next placement.
They're just
yeah. And I wrote to go within because any retrograde is to go within to find your inspiration. It's right where you left it. You have it. Everyone has an inspiring place in their body, in their mind, in their soul. Neptune here can help you go back and find it.
Right. It's not about taking action. It's about recognizing and searching for what is inspiring. And I put in parentheses or addictive. And addictive can be in a good way.
Yeah, like addictive to Pelotoning.
To meditation.
Addictive to going to bed early.
Yes.
I'm addicted to that.
Taking baths.
Yes. But that stays retrograde until November 30th. So again, this is always like a 5-month period of time. So here we are again. All right, Saturday, the 26th.
I have one more comment about Neptune retrograde.
Yeah.
I'll be on the lookout for potential. Neptune retrograde sometimes puts pressure on the crude oil market. So that can last like the entire retrograde period. I've seen it happen before. So we'll see when we get closer to the time whether that looks like it's could be in the works.
We'll probably do an update on our next July, which is June 26th. We forgot to mention that. We'll mention that at the end again.
Well, it's our next day, June 26th.
Oh.
Venus goes into Leo. And we'll be here again with you to talk about July outlook at 10 in the morning on a Saturday in Chicago.
Right. So
Venus will not go into Leo until later that night.
Right. Yeah, like almost midnight, like 11:27 on Saturday, the 26th. Venus goes, from this place of Cancer where she moves into this cardinal water sign. She has some dignity, but not as much as she did in the prior sign of Cancer where she is, she'll be going in next week. But she enters Leo and she finds Mars here. So this is, co-presence of Mars. And so really what occurs here? Is there some sort of strife, right? Like, I don't know. Is there a play? Is there a combination of male, female energy in play? Literally in play. like dancing and having fun and drinking and dining and enjoying one another. With a bit of tension, sometimes you need the tension.
Well, and tension because Venus in Leo, Venus being women in Leo, women having more chutzpah to be bold, to take the initiative, to be the leader. No, I don't have to follow your lead, Mr. Mars. I'm perfectly capable on my own. Thank you very much. So,
yeah. But maybe we can hang out occasionally, and I'll tell you when that will be.
Exactly.
I'll pick you up, right? That kind of attitude. Like, I'll set the plans, and what you can do is pay. Oh, I like that.
There you go. Now that's a plan, Sandy.
And actually, that takes us to the end of the month.
Like we said, from the very first of this year, there's just not as many transits happening this year. Last year was just like jam packed. This year it's a little quieter on all fronts. So with just that big one, the Saturn Uranus square, that is the overarching influence for the year. So yeah, we've got a few minutes left if there are questions. And there is one, Corrine notes, confusion with leaders. Oh my God, aren't they already that? Yes, they are. And when I talk about that, you could also think that this is when the sun is relating to Neptune. And that was a square, I think, Sun square Neptune, that instead of necessarily confusion, although I use that word because it was the square, it also could be Sun Neptune can be about being able to create a new vision. Leaders who are able to look forward and put together something that is new, that takes us in a new direction. Confusion more likely, I think, with the square, but it also could be that new plan has some tweaking that needs to be done. So maybe not necessarily confusion, but you could also look at it as the ability to create vision.
And let me add something there too, because Neptune can be, and we use that word, it's the word for Neptune, right? Confusion. Mm-hmm. But it's like, I do agree where it's that imaginative creativeness. Yeah. But it also could be that is one party not forthright in telling all of their, is there some sort of hidden agenda that one of them has?
Yeah, there's deception is another Neptune word. So
right. So so it could appear that one party wants to address, possibilities, and the other party is like, yeah, I'm going to pretend, I'm going to fake that I want what he wants, but hold my real intentions under the table. Mm-hmm. Right. So it is a place of, do we trust? Do we believe? So those are for the big leaders. We are doing our, like you said, minutia in our own homes, within our own relationships, in our own work environments. And so, clarity on all that is to be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
And, of course, you trust those people that you live with, that you said I do too, right? Maybe you need some more clarifying in those categories. Has anybody gone this way when you thought they were going that way? Mm-hmm. So that might answer the question. So any more questions? We have some minutes left. And you can just type them in, I guess.
Sandy, we could be like a phone plan. We can roll over the 6 minutes and you can have them in another time.
I don't really understand that. Like, a rollover, like who does rollover? Doesn't everybody have unlimited?
Yes.
Now you're showing your age.
I am.
And you're so much older than me. It's really interesting too, because with this Jupiter in Neptune, just since there's no questions coming in right now, and I've got a Pisces and I got a Mercury in Pisces and Sun in Pisces, Jupiter moving in, I can't see out of my left eye very well anymore. And I finally went to the doctor to have it looked at, and she's like, oh my gosh, you've got a big cataract that's growing pretty fast. And I know that this is like weird to talk about on this, like, but that is about, unclarity. So when we see unclarity in a chart or confusion, literally pay attention to your symptoms of your body, because you could actually have it reflecting in what's going on inside your body. So, I need to get that taken out and put a lens in so that I can see clearly, and I'm having it done while Jupiter's in Pisces, right? So anyway, just interesting little comment, that tidbit.
Cool. Well, that is an interesting manifestation of Jupiter and Pisces.
Yeah, really interesting. No questions. So let's add. So for those of you who have the cheat sheet, do you like the new format of the cheat sheet, or do you like the format of the old cheat sheet? Because I have to be honest with you. What would be a good day to sign a contract? Claudia is asking. But anyway, throw in if you like the cheat sheet. We're a divided camp here. And so I wanted to ask you if you like the new cheat sheet. A good day to sign a contract. Well,
after Mercury turns direct.
So, which is, in the books is June 22. If you can wait till after that period. Okay, I know, Claudia, I think I know what you're talking about. And yay, if that's what I think you're talking about. And you may need to move a little bit faster than that with that information, if it is what I'm thinking. If that's the case, I say anytime after the 10th of June. Now, this is why. Because the Mercury to the Cazimi Sun, from the first retrograde, which is happening today, all the way through that 10th, when we have that Mercury is Cazimi. And that's the hardest part. Once that Mercury crosses the sun and purifies and gets clear messages, you could ask yourself during that period, that inferior Cazimi, if this is the route you should take. You should really have some clear thoughts. And I would think that you could, if you're in a pinch, go ahead and sign after the 10th. Now, what would you say, Susan?
And certainly life can't stop necessarily for 3 weeks, 3 times a year to wait for Mercury. So yes, I'm with you on waiting for the Cazimi period to kind of see, okay, is this really it? And then if you have to get something signed before it turns direct, really the only caution, I mean, why you say that is because there's the potential for increased error in what you're signing, or the deal, or misunderstanding in what the contract says. And so if you understand that going in, if you're signing during a Mercury retrograde period, just know that, okay, there's the potential for something about this to be misunderstood or wrong. So just double check all the details, read it really carefully, put it down, read it really carefully again. Just make sure, just make double, triple sure that whatever you're signing is exactly what you mean to sign.
And remember, Claudia, you have a lot of Virgo in your chart. So, you are in the camp of double checking the T's, dotting the I's, crossing the T's, ask clarifying questions, take your time on it for sure. Have somebody else look at it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So thanks for asking and good luck with that, Claudia. Yeah, everybody seems to be liking the new, I'm with you, Leanne. For some reason, I like the old. What do you like, Susan, the new or the old?
If I had to pick one, I like the old one just because it was a little more condensed. And I like the little lines. But this one, I like the little graphics.
So a little bit of each. All right. Yeah, Molly likes the old too. Interesting. Yeah, and I know. And Alex, don't get your feelings hurt, because Alex was so excited to unveil this to everyone. And you did a great job. It looks great. It looks great. You and Crystal did a good job. Yeah. Anyway, okay, now you saw my shoulders out of whack. It's a toss-up, Shelley says. So that's it. That's it. We're done. Good luck to June and the rest of this weekend, Memorial Day. Get out there in the sun if you can find a little sliver of it somewhere, even if you have to wear a coat and gloves here in Chicago.
And when you go to the cemetery on Monday, be like my grandmother and take a broom and sweep off the headstones of your dearly beloved ancestors who have gone before, and tidy up their grave sites.
Oh, that's beautiful.
She even took a bucket with soap and water, like would sweep them first and then scrub them.
Oh, what a beautiful tribute. A nice ceremony. I like that. All right, everybody, we're out. The sun is out. Thank you, Shelley. I'm sure you're happy. Bye, Sylvia. Bye, Molly. Bye, Claudia. Bye, everybody. Catch you on June 26th for July. See you then.
Or June 9 for the Eclipse webinar.
Oh, sign up right now. Seriously, just sign up. And if you haven't got your cheat sheet, get it now. You'll still love the new cheat sheet revised edition. Bye-bye.